Okay, disclosure time. I am a men's rights activist. I identify as such because I'm not willing to just sit back and watch the world burn. I think that there's still hope that logic and reason can come out on top in this culture war we seem to have gotten ourselves into. I am, for the record, against marriage, at least until the government completely gets its grubby hands off of it. And I do indeed think that men have to be extremely careful when it comes to seeking out relationships with women, but I just do not feel comfortable calling myself a Mgtow. Now, I admit I'm done with the idea of pursuing relationships, and I do not want to have kids of my own, and again, will never get married, but I just can't call myself Mgtow. Partly this is because it feels somewhat disingenuous to me. I have, well, this weird problem with women where the more physically attractive I find them, the more repulsed they seem to be by me, thus making it so that the only women I have really ever dated who I did have a strong physical attraction to had some seriously bad self-esteem issues, which led to all sorts of other problems, which made them completely undateable for me. Anyway, now I know that my rejection of marriage and my distrust of the legal system and such superficially makes me seem like a Mgtow, but I've been hanging around on YouTube for quite a few years now, and there's some guys who have channels that are mainly dedicated to the cause of Mgtow who say things that, well, I just cannot get behind. Now, I've seen some of the issues I've had, with the movement here and there be dealt with by a couple of people, and I think that's great, and I appreciate it, but I still find there's a couple of things that do bother me. Mainly my issues with the things said by some Mgtow channels that I've seen come down to these men saying basically that each and every single woman on the planet is a slave to her hypergamous nature, and that women are fundamentally and universally incapable of loving men. There was even one guy who claimed that roaches were better people than women. Now, I'm good with people rejecting relationships, and I'm good with people giving their reasons for it. I'm even willing to let people say that roaches are better people than women, even if I don't agree with them. But I really have to point out that saying things like that don't really endear those people who say them to the public at large, let alone myself. And yes, I know not every Mgtow on the planet thinks this way, and I'm glad they don't, but I'm concerned that there are people in their movement who do think this way, and I'm worried that they're going to drag the whole group down with them. The problem, as I see it, is that the guys who make sweeping generalizations about women are starting to sound rather like the radical feminists. Something I'm often fond of doing is telling people to flip the script when they laugh about bad things happening to or being said about men. Most people tend not to like that too much. Now, I don't know what the best solution to this problem is. These guys are, as always, free to say what they want, but I'm worried that the Mgtow who don't see women as a malevolent enemy to be destroyed are going to be pushed out of the movement or be completely marginalized and have their reputations rather muddied by some of the louder voices. I guess what they could always do is start making videos of their own, showing a different side of Mgtow, or they could come up with a new name or something, although that seldom works. But yeah, that's just my opinion about that. So, dobra vacha, kids.